welcome to the Mornington Peninsula Regional Gallery Creativity Online. My name is Jill, I'm the Education Officer at the Gallery, and today we're looking at the work of Locust Jones. So we're going to get inky, we're going to get messy, and it's going to be fun. Locust Jones, he's inspired by all things going on in his life. He uses imagery from newspapers and from the internet and from radio, all sorts of things that he draws from. And then his artwork is just kind of a psychological blurting out of all the things that's going on in the world and in his life at any one time. And you'll notice that it's very raw and immediate, his work. He's not really fussed about spending hours composing it all beforehand or doing exquisite sort of photorealist drawings. He really wants to capture that sense of it being his raw, immediate, visceral, personal response to what's going on in the world. And so his works have a lot of energy to them. Some of his works, including the one in our collection, are about 10 meters long. All of his works are pretty big. And you can hear him talk to Danny Lacey, our creative director and senior curator here. And he talks about his work, and he explains that one of his works is 100 meters long. He starts with one idea. The work in our collection is called Geronimo, and it was a particular military campaign that the US was launching at the time called Geronimo, and he was concerned about that. And so he used that as the starting point for his work. He starts at one point and just keeps on working. And so sometimes they're 100 meters long.
It's something like it becomes a part of your life. So it's not only about the world, it's about personal experiences. And I mean, I have two dogs here in the studio, and I'm sure the monochromatic nature of my work, which is mostly just black ink, comes from the dogs because they're black kelpies.
One of the works that Locust Jones has made is called A Week in the Life of the World, and I was inspired by that, and I've decided to do that as an example for you, especially in these times, in this year 2020. A Week in the Life of the World is full of all sorts of crazy and outrageous things going on with coronavirus at the peak right now. So I've used that as an inspiration for my work. And you might too, or you might choose to be inspired by something else going on in your life. Maybe not worldwide events, maybe personal, private ones, who knows. But we're going to have some fun getting inky and messy and being inspired by Locust Jones. Here's the first work that I did. You might be able to notice that I started with a page that had splats of ink all over it. I figured that I wanted it to look messy and raw and energetic, and the whole big blank white page was a bit intimidating, frankly. So I decided to mess it up a little bit right from the beginning, because I'm talking about the mess that we're all in right now in the middle of coronavirus. I'm using this dip pen, which is nice because you don't get a lot of control with it, and I'm liking that. If you don't have a dip pen, you might have an old fountain pen that you could use as well, dipping it in the ink. Or you could make your own. I made these out of a bit of bamboo, but any stick would do. And you could make your own little dip pen just like this. This was my response to Monday, September the 28th. Let me think now. Here's this photo here of people talking about Melbourne being empty. And there's my picture of it here. This guy here holding a box of takeaway food because all restaurants have had to change to takeaway. Here's that person there. So I've just taken random things out of the newspaper. As you can see, I have not been particularly fussed about the drawings I do looking exactly like the photo in the newspaper. If I wanted that, I probably would have collaged, cut out the pictures from the newspaper and stuck them in. I'm not trying to make it look exactly perfect. I'm just trying to capture the vibe of what was going on this day, Monday the 28th of September. This was a pretty cool headline on Tuesday, September the 29th, devastating failures blamed for virus death. I like that. So I wrote that in great big letters here: Victoria's hotel quarantine, devastating failure. I had lots of lovely inky, messy, splatty bits on this page, and then I've filled up the gaps with just lots of pictures of people wearing masks, because that's a novelty for us right now. So it's unusual to see everyone out and about in masks. Here's my shopping list here. I've mixed in things to do with great big, huge world events and personal private things. I've been doing crosswords to sort of fill in some of the time, so I put the crossword there. The French Open was on that particular day. This week was the week that Donald Trump, the President of America, was diagnosed with COVID-19, and his wife. That was huge, great big headlines. Chaos as Trump has virus. It was also a milestone for the world, 1 million dead worldwide from the virus. We're all on Zoom meetings, so here's my picture of that. The grand final is coming along. I think that's meant to be Jack Rewell, but I'm not exactly sure. Here's someone getting that horrible test up there, up your nostril. So this is Tuesday the 27th of October, and the headlines are open at last. Our numbers are down. I think I've got graphs in every single page of my drawing so far showing the active cases, new daily cases, and they've gone down and down and down, and now at last. So I'm going to be joining this work onto this one. So I will think a little bit about continuing some of these shapes on, making it so that this page does relate a little bit to that page. I will probably put some writing in this page. I like the way this is. Locust Jones does writing like this, all different sizes going in all different directions. So I will do that as well with things that are happening now that Melbourne is out of lockdown. So you can see I've thought quite a bit as I've worked here about balancing my lights and my darks. I've enjoyed working in with the splats that I already had and making them fit in with my composition, sort of figuring it out one step at a time, not really knowing what the overall design is going to turn out like in the end. So you might enjoy working like that too. And who knows what your theme will be, whether it will be big political events or personal things in your life. Whatever it is, I hope you have fun doing a big, messy, inky thing inspired by Locust Jones. See you next time.